my goodness gracious. What a football weekend we just had. I had a great weekend. I had an absolutely great weekend. We're going to go over my weekend. We really are. Sorry about, don't know what's going on with the camera, but nonetheless, we're going to go over this weekend. What a weekend. What a weekend of football. All right. As you can tell, I am pumped. First of all, main reason, okay? I won 2 of my 3 ESPN leagues. And then in Yahoo, so my ESPN Yahoo, I played both of them. I won the league that Dog, Penguin, and I are with Penguins guys. And then in my league, my community league, I also pulled out the W, 101.84 to 101.12. Came down to the point of a point. Awesome. The only 2 things that I really care about, the 2 leagues I care about in Yahoo. So I am 4-1 in Penguins Friends League. I am now 3-2 in my community league, and the competition is fierce and it's fun. And dang it, we're going to win something this year. All right, let's get into this. So I'm going to pull up this slide again. I decided to keep this because, guys, these matchups were great. Oh my goodness, these matchups did not disappoint. We're going to talk about these matchups today, episode 22. You'll see the standings video. The new video will be tomorrow, which will be Thursday for you guys. Pre-recorded, already planned out ahead of time. That'll be tomorrow for you guys, and then Friday will be my Friday video. So you're going to have basically 4 videos this week. Like I said, try and do the 3. Recap videos a little bit later. I know it's Wednesday morning for you guys now. But dang, these matchups, the matchups on this screen came through heavily. Absolutely huge. Baltimore and Cincinnati never fails. Never, ever, ever fails to come out with a great game for us. So let's walk through this. I had some stats that I want to throw at you guys. So here's some of the stats that I've got that I looked at this week. Lamar Jackson, his ability with running, passing, and really how everything else culminates for him. Baltimore has put him in the position to be the MVP. He is the most valuable player to Baltimore, I still believe. But there is an aspect of his game that is underrated severely. Sunday night. So this is how it came down. Sunday night. He's not a great thrower of the ball. He's better. Excuse me. He's better. He's not a great thrower of the ball. The ball doesn't look horrible coming off of his hand. Dr. Pepper. Good. But he still has limitations as a pocket passer. That's not what he is. He goes 19 for 32, 174 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. It's a division game. That stat line doesn't bother you necessarily except for the completion percentage. Then he adds 12 rushes for 58 yards. What Lamar Jackson brings is exactly what everybody saw in that 2-minute drive to beat Cincinnati. You have to account for him in a 2-minute drill. You have to account for him running in a 2-minute drill. And the defensive strategy to a game like that, playing Josh Allen, playing Kyler Murray, playing Jalen Hurts now, even Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. Joe Burrow is going to stay in the pocket a lot longer. Okay. Tua Tagovailoa is going to stay in the pocket. Zach Wilson will stay in the pocket longer. Daniel Jones will stay in the pocket longer. Dak, Kirk Cousins, Rodgers. These guys are going to stay in that pocket. Lamar, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes. These guys know if they can get the 10 yards, they're running towards their team, and by the time that everybody turns around, they're already going to be running back because they see the quarterback running. If they're going to get a 15-yard gain, they're going for it. And that is crucial to have. Baltimore and Cincinnati, I believe, are the two best teams in that division. I think Cleveland is the best 3-3 team in the NFL. Their losses are by a combined total of 6 points. People laughed at me. Some of you laughed at me when I said I think the Browns are a lot better than people are giving them credit for. I like Jacoby Brissett. He set him up. Their field goal kicker misses 2 kicks. Forget the 4th down call. Forget the stupidity by Brandon Staley, which is wearing thin on a lot of people. Cleveland blows the lead against the Jets because of play calling. And then this week, their field goal kicker misses 2 kicks. Or else they get the dub. Whether Deshaun Watson's there or not, this team is good. And I think Deshaun Watson's going to be like Dak Prescott to the Cowboys. I think it's going to screw up the chemistry. I think it's going to be bad. I'm sorry. Cleveland, you spent $200+ million on a guy that I think is worthless to your organization because he's not a team guy, and you're going to be strapped, and you're going to start losing because you're not going to have that team around him. You're really not. But anyway, back onto this game. Cincinnati played hard. It was a division game. It looked like a division game. It looked like real football. It wasn't sloppy. It was tight coverage. It was good protection. It was bad protection. It was great rushing. The game was amazing to watch on Sunday Night Football to cap off a beautiful day. Beautiful day. Let's jump down to the Philly versus Arizona game. Wow. Arizona's got to be kicking themselves. Got to be kicking themselves. You let Jalen Hurts basically only run all over you. Really. He was their highest rusher. Jalen Hurts, 15 carries, 61 yards, 2 touchdowns. His longest run was a 17-yard run. Jalen Hurts beat the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona is now 2-3. They're 2-0 on the road. They are 0-3 at home. 0-3. That's the Eagles. That's the Chiefs. And the Rams, I believe, as well, if I am not mistaken. Let me look at their schedule. Yeah, Rams. So they've beaten the Raiders in that overtime game that the Raiders blew. And they beat the Panthers last week. The Cardinals are in trouble. I said at the beginning of the year, I don't believe in this Cardinals team whatsoever. I think they're going to fall off at the end of the year. They haven't even gotten to a point where they can fall off yet. If you're Arizona and you're an Arizona fan, I would be concerned. Your coach, your quarterback, look outmanned, outcoached against any team that is with it. The Las Vegas Raiders gifted you a W, or you'd be 1-4. The Las Vegas Raiders gifted you a W, and you also kind of got gifted help at the end of that game, whether you like it or not. The reality is Arizona's not good. Not good. They're not dynamic. They were at home. It was pumped. Philadelphia coming off of a nice big win, went into Arizona, and they took care of business. And I am all on the Philadelphia Eagle train. Are you kidding me? This week, Cowboys versus Eagles, Cooper Rush versus Jalen Hurts, the Dallas defense against the Philadelphia offense. What a game this week, and we'll get into that on Friday and Saturday, I am sure, when we dive into the coming weeks, this next week's games. But I mean, what a game! What a game! It is shaping up to be fantastic. All right, next game: Dallas and Los Angeles. Los Angeles Rams are in trouble. Their offensive line is in shambles. Their play calling is not as technical. I think they don't have any trust in their offensive line, and it shows. It really does show. It really does. But you lose to Dallas 22-10 at home. Giving the Rams defense credit. The only statistical leader they had for Dallas was running back. Tony Pollard had 86 yards rushing. CeeDee Lamb only had 5 catches for 53 yards. Cooper Rush only attempted 16 passes. The defense did everything else. They sacked Matt Stafford 5 times. They got the interception. They got 2 fumbles. Okay. And they knew they couldn't beat the Rams through the air. So they ran the ball 34 times. Tony Pollard's big breakout run kind of is the difference in the rushing yards. 34 rushes for 163. You take out the 57 yards. So you take out 57 yards. Okay. You end up with 33 rushes for 106 yards. So only a little bit more than 3 yards a carry outside of that one rush. The Rams defense didn't play bad. They got tired. Here's what I'm going to say about the Rams. They're 2-3. They're 1-2 at home. They've got time to figure it out, but they're going to have to hurry it up. The offensive line looks so weak, and they don't look like they're really actively trying to fix it. Like the Colts, to the Colts' credit, they've brought in an offensive tackle. They signed an offensive tackle, and they brought in Kalichi Osemele from the free agent wire, brought him in to see if he's in a position to be able to play guard. So he would take over right guard next to Braden Smith. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. For Colts fans, we're thinking go for it. Ryan Kelly could be hurt consistently right now with the injury. We may have lost our center, which is a big blow. I would love to have him at right guard. I think that would help in the run game immensely. A lot bigger body, a lot more aware, knows what's going on, and I think that would be huge. But the Rams aren't fixing anything on the offensive line. The play calling isn't great. Allen Robinson has disappeared. And watching the game, it's not because of Allen Robinson, really. I don't know what's going on for the Rams. I don't know what's going on over there. But it was a great football game to watch. My son watched a lot of it. We had a fire pit Sunday night, so I was going back and forth. But congratulations to Cooper Rush for what he's done with Dallas. He's playing within the system. He's not making mistakes. And Dallas is 4-1. And they're heading to the playoffs at this point. They are looking good and heading to the playoffs. I am afraid Dak Prescott's going to come in and ruin it. Too much emphasis goes on Dak. I don't know if they can actually get away with it. There are a lot of teams that would line up to get Dak Prescott on their team right now. Carolina would probably be at the top of the list. We'll talk about them in a second after we get this last one done. All right, so Kansas City and the Las Vegas Raiders last night. Oh my goodness. Let's throw aside. Let's chuck it aside. Let's chuck aside the roughing the passer penalty. Okay. Las Vegas annihilated Kansas City in the first half. Kansas City comes storming back in the second half. And then Josh McDaniels out-Patriots himself. McDaniels will probably... I can't say that yet. It's bad enough of a start to fire him. There are a couple teams right now that could fire their head coach because of the starts and because of how they've looked. First of all, Ron Rivera in Washington. Abysmal. Your side of the ball, the defensive side of the ball, has been trash. Ron Rivera. Secondly, Josh McDaniels. He says he learned from Denver. I'm sorry, it doesn't look like it. It really doesn't. I'm sorry, it does not look like he's learned anything. Making questionable decisions. The play calling isn't really great. Josh Jacobs is a beast. He's done fantastic. But it's still questionable decisions. Matt Rule has already been fired, was fired before week 5 was even done. Before the Monday Night Football game was even done. So the Carolina job is officially open. Another team that could potentially, based off of how the season has gone to this point, Nathaniel Hackett, I think he's not a coach. I think he's an offensive coordinator. I do not think he's a head coach. He's not making the moves that show you that he's willing to learn how to do this. He's not making those moves. I think Mike McCarthy is getting bailed out by an amazing defense, which is Dan Quinn. And not because of him, but he's going to take credit for it. But his offensive play calling isn't the greatest. It's not his team doing anything. It's that defense that's just dang good. That defense is scary. Boy, that defense is scary. But anyway, back onto the Raiders Raiders and Chiefs before we go on into the head coaching carousel potential. Las Vegas should have had that game. They should have had the game against Arizona. They lost both of them, screwed up mightily, potentially messed up their shot at the playoffs already. They got the big win over Denver. They lost close to the Chargers. They lost close to the Cardinals. And they lost close to the Chiefs. I would say because of the close losses, this team can win. Chandler Jones is a beast. He was terrorizing Mahomes in the first half. My entire thing of this is going to be simple. You got to fix it. You got to fix it, and you've got to fix it now. If the Raiders finish with 4 or 5 wins, I would fire Josh McDaniels on the spot and go right back to searching for the next head coach, because obviously he can't take a team that made the playoffs last year when there was a bunch of junk going on, a bunch of trash to work through. He's got a great team. He got Devontae Adams when he came in. He got Chandler Jones when he came in. You've already got Josh Jacobs. The line is a little bit better. It's not a ton better, but the offensive line's a little bit better. Their secondary is a little bit better. Their defensive pass rush has been a lot better. And you can't freaking figure out how to close out these games when you've got a running back like that, a quarterback like Carr, a wide receiver like Adams, and you can't figure out how to do it. And Devontae Adams is frustrated, and now he's facing disciplinary action for pushing the camera guy. Stupid move, out of frustration. I'm going to play both sides of the fence on this one. I'm going to say that camera guy shouldn't have ran in front of Devontae. You get out of play. You don't run in front of people. It was a natural. I hope when they look at it, they realize it was a natural human instinct thing to do, was to push something out of your way. Because that camera guy ran right in front of him. There was no room between him and Devontae. And Devontae is frustrated. He's looking down. He's going straight. And all he sees is this flash come in front of him, and he pushes him. Okay? Now I'm going to play the other side. Devontae, you got to control yourself. You can't be doing that. You're a professional football player. I know you're frustrated. Go take it out on the lockers in the locker room. Go take it out on a helmet. Go take it out on a football. There are places to get your frustration out, even in the locker room. Go take care of it. Don't be shoving, pushing somebody. Cameraman, learn your job better. You don't run in front of people. You just don't do it. You just don't do it. So, on that note, you've got to be aware. Here's what it's going to look like for this week. All right. So, the surprises this week. Number one surprise, New England shut out Detroit. Jared Goff got absolutely bamboozled by Bill Belichick. That, to me, was a really big surprise. Miami did not have their first string or second string quarterback for most of the game. Made it competitive until the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter, the number's off. 40-17, Jets over Miami's a little bit off. The surprise to me is Tampa Bay can't close anybody out. I was right. I thought they would handle Atlanta a little bit better. They did not. They did not. And Atlanta hung around, and without the roughing the passer penalty, here we go. Let's get into it. Okay, quarterbacks. This has been a huge topic. It's going to be a topic. It will stay a topic. Quarterbacks are still football players. Too many times. Now, I told you about these guys. We started out talking about Lamar, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts. Those guys, Ben Roethlisberger, the Super Bowl, Eli Manning and the Giants versus the Patriots. Even on Sunday, Jacoby Brissett against the Chargers. The end of that game, Brissett escaped and ran. Like, these quarterbacks that are mobile, if you don't wrap them, and as you're falling to the ground, take them with you. Because it's momentum. That's all it is. It's not a violent force. You are not violently trying to fling them to the ground. You're trying to tackle the guy for the play. To get a loss so your team can get a win. It is the dumbest thing in the world to say with excessive force. He's a dang football player. If he's not a dang football player, then tell him to go sit on the sidelines and put on a tutu. I don't care. You know the job that you entered. Football is a violent physical sport, but that is also why we love it so much. And these roughing the passer penalties are going to screw up the fans' enjoyment of the game. Defense still wins championships more than offense. The Buccaneer defense beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. The defense for the Rams shut down the Bengals. Defense still wins championships. As much as you want to go quarterback-friendly league, NFL, and you want to go offense-heavy, NFL, without defense, you don't have a league. Stop protecting only one player on the entire field just because he makes the most money and has the prettiest face. That's about it. Stop it. Let these calls be reviewable like targeting is in college. Go. That is a tackle. He's not purposely trying to throw him to the ground. The Chris Jones play, I can't emphasize this enough. The Chris Jones roughing the passer on Derek Carr, he stripped the ball away. He has no way to brace himself, so he crushed Derek Carr. He made one of the greatest defensive plays for a defensive lineman, and we don't even care about that because of the penalty. What should be talked about is a takeaway by Chris Jones. That's what we should be talking about. Instead, it's a roughing the passer penalty, 15 yards. They really got to do something about these roughing the passer penalties. Yeah, they do. Review them. It's the same as targeting in my book. If it's not roughing the passer, you pick up the flag, you move it on. If it is roughing the passer, the 15-yard penalty, fine, go. But you make them reviewable and you make sure that New York can get involved in penalties like that. Personal foul penalties should be reviewable. All of them. all personal foul penalties should be reviewable. Period. Because you know what? Personal foul penalties are the ones that get you suspended. They're the ones that can get you fined. So review them and get them right. Okay, there's that. Other surprise from the week, Green Bay's in trouble. The Giants went to London. I told you London games, I hate betting. But the Giants beat the Packers in London. I didn't see that one coming. I really did not. I did not see that one coming. Aaron Rodgers can't win. Aaron Rodgers cannot win because he will not just let his team, he will not trust. He won't trust his team. The stats play it out. The guys who got the receptions, the yards, are just his homeboys. And you know what? The minute one of those is injured, he's done. Packers are in trouble. And the way that the NFC is going, surprisingly, I don't know if the Packers are going to make the playoffs. I still like the Lions. I still like the Lions to be able to potentially challenge the Packers. I really do. I really, really do. All right, let's look. Let's take a sneak peek here up ahead. So the bye week teams, the teams that get to take a break this week: Detroit, Tennessee, Las Vegas, and Houston. We got Chicago against Washington on Thursday Night Football. This is actually one that I originally had penciled in. This was the one win I gave the Chicago Bears this year when I was doing it. So I'm probably going to stick with the win, as you'll see in my standings video tomorrow. The Bears are not going to have as low of a draft pick as I thought. They're still not good. Give them credit for coming back against Minnesota. Minnesota gave them the ability to come back. They should have just kept the gas down. O'Connell needs to learn that. The head coach for Minnesota, he needs to learn to keep the gas down. You don't let up in the NFL. You plow down and you go. But this week should be an interesting week. I'm going to be anxious to see what happens with the quarterbacks this week. There's a lot of focus on something. The NFL doesn't want to have a problem with fans with penalties. Remember, they had a problem with pass interference. They changed the pass interference. They got the illegal contact rule in. The tuck rule, the stupidest rule there was. Tuck rule because they had to make up a rule to explain why they made a horrible call in the playoffs. Right now, they've got a huge issue between concussions and roughing the passer penalties because most of us believe that the roughing the passer penalties in the last 2 weeks is only a result of Tua Tagovailoa. It's a reaction to, we gotta make sure we protect these and make these look. Listen, Tua's a small guy, under 200 pounds. He got tackled by a 300-pound lineman. His head hit the ground. It's football. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is football. He didn't get violently thrown to the ground. The guy wasn't going to let him go and escape. You only have two choices, NFL. Either one, when the quarterback is wrapped by a defender, the play is dead. You call him in the grass. You're not going to do that. These guys are too athletic. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson can break those tackles. Still. Or you review them. Be like, no, that was a good football play. That was a good football play. There are still hard hits in the NFL that are good football plays. You do your job. You jar the ball loose. Review them. That's my view. That's my view. All right, guys. That's going to do for the wrap-up of the key matchups this week. You know what? Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this before we jump off here. Boom. And boom. All right, let's see how we did on the picks. So I went 2-2. Dang it. Dog went 1-3. Yeah. San Francisco, no, 2-2. San Francisco and the Chargers ended up winning. That's right. And then Penguin went 1-2. Doggone it. That's sorry, son of a gun. Penguin goes 4-0. Dang it. All right. Well, my great week just ended. Oh, well. Congrats, Peng. Well done. Well played. Well played. All right, guys. Tomorrow is the standings video. Make sure to come back for that. My updated standings for the rest of the year. Hope to see you guys there. And until then, guys, wings up, hawk out, football on. We will see you guys tomorrow.